Hey, my magicals. Okay, so bit of an SOS here. I know that we have to do the decisions ones. I'm sorry, after all this rain, Satan decided to put a sauna on in Durban today, and it's like hotter than Dante's Inferno. Right, here's the thing. I know I've got to do the decisions one. Um, Kelso wants me to do this one more urgently. It came up in one of my readings this weekend. I was doing someone's spirit guide read, and this information around this witch wounding came up. And he wants me to, sorry, I'm just lighting my incense. He wants me to talk a little bit about this today. In fact, he wants to talk to me quite a bit about it. He wants to start getting us to understand what this rewitching is all about. He keeps on using the term with me, rewitching. Okay. Now we're gonna cover a lot of different things today. I do want you to be open, right? Um, if you guys watched my year ahead, the 2025 um, energy update, we spoke a lot about using our intuition, going back to nature, connecting in with our magic. Kelso is building on that. He's taking it one step further now. Okay, we're coming to a point now where we're really having to activate our witchiness and our magic. There are a couple of things I want to say around that. So just bear with me. I have taken some notes. We're going to play with some cards. It's a slightly different energy update, so please just bear with me, right? Oh my gosh. Oh, the jokes I have around me perspiring are not appropriate to put onto YouTube, otherwise I'll be banned. But there are a couple of cracker ones that are crossing my mind at the minute. Okay, so let's talk about the witch wound. Okay, this is really, really important for us to understand because a lot of us, especially females, this does not exclude males, right? It does not exclude males. But a lot of us, in terms of females, carry a witch wounding which we are unaware of. Now, it could be from past lives where we've been witches, and it could just simply be that it's something that's passed down through our ancestors, right? And a witch wounding is very much about being persecuted for your power, for your empowerment, your self empowerment, working with your gifts when people do not understand what the gifts are. Okay. Now, having said that, I am going to quickly quote to you what came up as the grammatical meaning for witch. Okay, it is important that we deal with this now so that you understand the energy that's coming up later on as we go through this energy update. Okay, witch, a person, especially a female, but let's be clear, it doesn't exclude males, right? There are male witches, who practices witchcraft or magic. Okay, now I am not saying that there aren't actual witches. I mean, hello, right? I do spells and I practice magic and all of that. But let's look back in time to when the persecution of the witches and all of these witching woundings from our ancestors began. The women and the men that were being persecuted as witches were normally herbalists and healers, and many of them may have been sages and oracles and things like that as well, which of course at that time was not understood. To a large extent, it's still not understood. Let's be very clear on that. It's not like what I do is commonplace, right? It's certainly becoming more accepted and more commonplace, but it's not like right out there. So having said that, we need to redefine our personal concept of what witch is. Okay. Now, guys, please understand, I wouldn't be doing this to try and shove down your throat what I believe. I'm really all about doing what you dig. I mean that go off, be happy, be the best version of yourself, whatever that looks like, because the world needs the light that you shine, and that light is only going to shine if you are the best version of yourself. So you do you and I'll do me. I'm very clear on that. But for Kelso to have brought this up now, at a time when we are shifting from 3D to 5D, where we are changing, everything around us is changing. Okay? It's imperative that we understand that shifts have to happen and that things that we've been holding on to, belief systems, they have to crumble in order for us to facilitate the shift into 5D. And what he's talking about is that our re-witching is basically an unlearning of all that is not working for us anymore, right? It's relearning how to connect intrinsically with nature and with our magic and the soul stuff, the natural stuff that works around us. Okay, that is basically what the re-witching is. Now, here's the thing. I do believe that he is using the term witching for a particular reason. I think for those of you who are okay or who are slightly uncomfortable with the word witch, but are prepared to try and see what it's all about, I think you are the timeline people or the frequency people that are meant to be listening to this message today. If you are highly uncomfortable with it and it's not, it doesn't align with you at all, guys, don't waste your time then, my angels. There'll be another video that comes up that will make more sense to you and will, benefit you in better ways, right? But for those of you who love the concept, which for those of you who are embracing your inner wild woman or wild man and starting to engage with it, for the people who are curious about what being a witch could bring to the table, you're the people that this is aimed at. Okay, understanding that we are all at different stages. We are all on this path, but at different stages of the path. Okay, so this is not about how far that person is in front of me, or is this going to make sense to me if I'm only just getting curious about this. This is just a general information across the board for it, whatever path you're on at this unlearning that we're going through. Okay, and a relearning of what truly works for us, how we were designed to work. The systems that, and again, guys, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not going to sit here and do all of that shit. I can't. I don't have the energy, right? But at the end of the day, I really feel like it's time for us to empower ourselves again. The system that we are living in is designed to disempower us in every possible way. I have been shown that so many times in the last couple of months, and it's almost like we are swimming upstream like salmon. And I always say to you guys, we're not salmon. Stop trying to swim upstream. So now this is about finding a different way to work for us by reworking our system to empower us and to enable us to be the best versions of ourselves. Okay, really important. Right, so couple of things that I want to talk about first. The first thing is that when we started this, so I have this book, this tarot deck. Ironically, the person who gave me this tarot deck, because she wasn't aligning with it, was the same person that I was doing the spirit guide reading for on Sunday morning when this all came up. That is not a coincidence. I'm just saying it is not a coincidence, right? I love this deck. Generally, I only use this deck for myself. It's a really unusual deck, and I absolutely adore it. Okay, so this is a deck that I was called. Kelso said you have to share this time. And I was called to pull 4 cards. He was very specific. He said 4 cards will come out, and these are the 4 cards that I'm wanting you to share with them, to explain to them how we go about and how we face this re-witching. Okay, right. So the first card out is number 14. Let's just go with it for the minute. Okay. In this deck, okay, everything is kind of, especially the major arcana, everything's asked about face. It kind of starts with the world card and then ends with the fool, right? So it's an unlearning. Oh my God, that's exactly it. This deck is about an unlearning, right? How to redo things. Let me just see if I can just quickly find the card that it starts with. It's a journey going backwards to ourselves, which is basically what this entire deck is about. Oh gosh, I didn't even think about that also. Sorry guys, just give me 1 second. I do really want you to see this card. It's going to be the last card, right? Because really? 15 journey. That's the full card. I'm trying to find the first card. Okay, we're getting there, guys. Just bear with me. Really, really? Okay, hold on. Okay. Um, okay. So we start off with this deck, and I just want to show you this so you understand how much of an unlearning this is, right? The pilgrim starts off, right? So basically the fool's journey, right, at 0, okay, which is like the normal fool card. However, it then moves on to the world. Now look at the imagery in that card. At the background, you can see that the city is burning and she is walking back into nature. She's walking away from civilization and going back into nature, right? And honest to God, the last card in the deck is number 21, which is Council of All Beings. Now that is, look at it, us in union with the natural world. This card deck is literally, I've just realized it, is literally the journey back to self, the natural self, right? So it makes sense as to why he would want me to use this card. He's such a smart ass. He's sitting there looking very smug at the background. Right, okay, so when I asked how we go about this, he's given me these 4 cards. Please bear with me. This is not a normal energy update, okay? But this is important. The first card that comes in is Strength. Now, here's the thing. Check out how supported she is by the natural world. In the traditional tarot, the woman is trying to control the lion or has controlled the lion. If we look at that just energetically, that is man controlling the natural environment. In this Strength card, man is one with the natural environment and working with it for our benefit. Okay, that's just the basic look of the imagery. That's not even the message. Okay, so I've taken the key words from these because these are the things that he wants you to pay attention to with Strength. This information is key to us understanding not only how we're doing the rewitching, but why we are doing the rewitching. Okay, Strength, courage, heart path, purpose, action, service, and empowerment. What did I say to you about shining your light? What did I say to you about empowering ourselves to move forward? Okay, so that's the first card of the 4 that came out. Understanding that 4 is the number of stability and foundation. Okay, then we get the 4 of air, traditionally the 4 of swords, but check it out, 4 trees. Okay, 4 of air is the word, the card is labeled sanctuary. Okay, traditionally 4 of swords is about that. It's healing, rejuvenation, rest, meditation, prayer. Okay, refuge, withdrawal from struggle, rest, self-care, and renewal. Now here's this thing. Let's focus on the struggle, the withdrawal from struggle. That in essence, this card is then in essence talking about energy management. Where are you placing your energy? What did I speak to you about in the last energy update? Where are you placing your energy? Manage your energy. Okay, so that's what's required of us, right? Okay, third card out, number 9. Traditionally the Hermit, this one is rebirth. Okay, turning point, new start, exhilaration, resurgence, return, and springtime. Now, I'm not using this as an indicator card around springtime. We're talking about the energy of springtime, which is about birth and rebirth and the newness of things and the newness of a new cycle that brings growth. Okay? Very important. But again, resurgence. That is a returning, right? When something resurges, it comes up again. This is about finding our magic and letting it resurge into our spaces. Okay, so that's the third one. And again, 4, the 4 of earth. Look how beautiful that card is. And it's funny because a little while ago I'd launched that Sisterhood of the Sacred Stones, and people booked, and I cancelled. I woke up the morning after I'd put it out, and I had to reply to everybody who had said they were on board to say, please don't settle your invoices. It's not the right time. Now I understand why it wasn't the right time. That circle will be a very powerful healing module and sacred space for when the bewitching is in process and when it has occurred. It was not the right time. Okay, but here we have what they call, this card is called the sacred stones. So I like the standing stones. Stability, balance, grounding, connection, and sacred ground. That is how we are going to manage ourselves through this bewitching. Okay, it's about us going back to nature. That's exactly what the sacred ground is about. Finding a way to connect in with earth energy. It's very important stuff, right? So those 4 cards came out, okay? And what I want to say around this is that everybody's going to find their way of tuning into their magic in different ways. Keys to that, right, are going to be meditation, right? And let's go back to the witch wound for a minute. We have to heal this witch wound. The witch wound is basically creating a situation where we are not taking action because we are feared for what people may think of us. Okay, so we don't want to show our gifts openly, because what are people going to say when I say that I've opened my gift of aura seeing, or when I'm empathic and I can feel things, or what they're going to say when I can, talk about chakras and do Reiki and energy healing. Who gives a shit? The world needs it. The world needs it now. Who gives a shit? Are you honestly going to live your whole life dictated by what other people think? Okay, I know it's easy for me to sit here and say that because I'm autonomous, and I am very comfortable with losing people. So if you don't fit in, you can fuck off. I'm very clear about that, especially when it comes to my life purpose. Especially when it comes to this, I am fastly protective of what I do, right? And I get that not everybody's there. Fair play. I get it. Everybody has different circumstances, and some of you are in 9-to-5 jobs that don't understand this. Find your way of expressing that. Okay? They're not saying to you that you have to, hang and quarter yourself. They're saying to you that you need to step into your authenticity, and that you need to be able to make sure that you are actively engaging with your magic, unlearning the things that have kept you so stuck. Okay. Now, the big part of that is actually healing that witch wound, because I would say that probably 95% of women, if not more, carry that witch wound, right? It's a powerful one. It keeps us suppressed. It keeps us disempowered. Let's be very clear on that. People have told us for generations that we are, the weaker sex, and we're strange and all that. The best way to control a powerful person is to break them into submission. And for thousands of years, that's exactly what's happened with the feminine energy. Whether feminine and a masculine or feminine and a feminine. Like, we have been broken into submission for thousands of years. It's time to rise, guys. I've been saying this to you for a while. I've been saying to you that the divine feminine is rising, and this is it. I honestly never thought that I would be giving an energy update on a rewitching. I never did. And you know what? If it gets 2 views, and those 2 people that saw it were the 2 people that needed to hear it, hooray. It was absolutely worth my time and my energy. But at some point, we have to start taking accountability for how we move forward in this world. And now's that time. So I am going to, in the description box below, there are 2 links I'm going to put in. The first link is to my favorite medicine man of meditation, Steve Noble. There is a free, all of his work is free. If you go and have a look, I'm going to put a link on there. He has done a transmission. It's a meditation, a guided meditation. It's about 40 minutes, so prepare yourself. but it's a healing the witch wound meditation. It literally came up to me as I was preparing to do this, because I thought I was going through, because I've got like over 200 of his meditations saved on my YouTube. And I was scrolling through that. I wanted to do a meditation and I wasn't sure, it caught my eye. And then after I had done this, I was like, oh my God, there's a meditation on the witch wound healing. And I was like, I've got to do that meditation. I've never done it before. I still haven't done it, but that's not the point. The point is that it's in my diary for today. That is my meditation for today. I will be doing it, but I will leave the link in the description box below so that you guys can also access it to help heal that in you. Okay. The second link is going to be for those of you who have not seen my year ahead video on the energy update for 2025. Do yourselves a favor and just have a little look-see, because there was quite a lot of stuff about intuition and that kind of energy, about empowering ourselves and that moving forward. And you might find that it's a bit helpful in that as well. Okay, so those will be the two links in the description box below. Right. So then, how do we start doing this? Okay, so we look at healing the witch wound. Sit with that meditation, do the meditation, see what comes up around it, because that will show you where you need to. We're all going to have different woundings, guys. I can't say that as a collective we're all going to feel like it's imposter syndrome, or we're all going to be terrified of being burnt at the stake, or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, we all have our own witch wounds. I know I definitely do. On my father's line, one of the Hutchins women were hung in the Salem witch trials. That's why every 1st of March I put something up in memory of, because it's one of my ancestors, literally one of my ancestors that hung for witchcraft, right? Which is just fabulous to think that although she sacrificed her life, that I carry a lineage of this beautiful craft and this beautiful energy. So again, for those offended by witchcraft, at the end of the day, there is light and dark, and how you play into that is up to you. Okay, witchcraft is just a term. How you choose to handle that is up to you. And that speaks to your soul and not to anybody else's. Just saying. Right. Okay. One of the big things, though, is our intuition. And I've spoken to you about this before, but Kelso wants me to go one step further. He's talking to us about spending time in meditation, not just to do like healings and things like that, but just to spend some time communing with nature. So he wants us outside a lot, on the grass a lot, in mountainous spaces, in foresty spaces, whatever you can do, botanical gardens, whatever you are capable of doing. Access Mother Earth, access Gaia. Okay, we need to be grounded and we need to be stable at this time. It is imperative that we are. It's absolutely imperative that we are. So please make sure that you are grounding yourself and really tuning into nature and being there. Also, I'm being told, notice the birds and the animals that come into your space, especially things that aren't normally there, because those are going to be little totem animals that are coming in to give you messages. Okay, I'm being told the animal world, as the minute you align with this, the animal world will be around you to assist you as well. Okay, the other thing is, one of the things that I do every single morning, and I've spoken to this about a million times, I do my cards every single morning. Every single morning I sit down and I will draw either tarot cards or oracle cards or both. Depends on how I feel, right? Now, I'm going to suggest for those of you, tarot is very specific, and if you don't know the tarot well enough, you can confuse the living bejesus out of yourself, and that just becomes more complicated, and then it becomes a chore, and then it becomes stressful, and that's not what we're going from. Remember the card he gave us? What is it? 4 of Air, Sanctuary, withdrawal from struggle. If it feels hard, you're trying to do this and it feels hard because you genuinely don't know what's going on, then step away from it. What it doesn't mean is that we have to step out of our comfort zone, which is never easy. Okay. In order for us to do this, there is going to be a removal of comfort zones, but this is the year for it. It's a 9 year, so this is the year. Letting this shit go so that we can move forward. Okay. What I want to say to you is oracle cards are a phenomenal way for you to actually connect in with a word sometimes. Very often, okay, so for example, this is going to go onto my Facebook today. I love the set of cards, and this is another set that I only use for myself, right? The Mystical Shaman Oracle. Turns out that I'm not allowed to be selfish with my cards anymore, because I'm putting this up just now on Facebook. I did a 3-card draw for myself this morning, and I always read the book because this is quite a complex deck and I don't know it very well. And this is not a really good deck to use, but I'm just going to talk to you quickly about this now. I had been feeling very overwhelmed by what's happening outside in the world outside, right? I'm feeling like there's a lot of energy, a lot of frustration, a lot of fear. Okay, there's a lot going on in the outside world. Sorry. And when I drew my cards, I got two beautiful personal cards that really resonated. And this was the first card that came out, the Luminous Warrior, right? Number 32, 325, change, change. And there's this beautiful message about focusing on love and the right stuff, not letting everything else get us down. I will put it onto my facial, my facial, not on my facial. I did my facial last night, though. It's fabulous. But I'll put it onto my social media later. But what I'm trying to say to you is, even my other cards this morning, what did I get? Hold on. I used my new deck, which will be going out onto a What's Happening Wednesday shortly at some point. And the two cards that came out for me this morning were Miracles and Exuberance. Right? So I keep that up here because that's energy that I tune into for the day. And I look at that and I go, that's epic. I can work with both of those energies all day today. But pulling a card like that, pulling an oracle card that has a one word, miracles, say for example, okay? That is an indication of the energy that you need to be surrounding yourself in. Then it's not always going to be happy, happy. Trust me, I've gotten ones that have been about lack and about fear and dark spaces and all sorts of shit. We go through it, right? But oracle cards are really easy ways for you to either confirm how you are feeling about something or to get some kind of answer. Okay, they really are very, very handy. So if you have got decks of oracle cards, just play with them. The more you play into it, and not rushing to read guidebooks and things like that, really trying to sit with how you feel the message resonates with you, that's going to make a huge, huge difference in terms of your intuition. Okay, I really do believe that that's a great, great way for you to play into your intuition to work with it. All right. Basically, Kelso is just saying that it's about taking stock now. It's about sitting back and going, where in my life am I unhappy? Where am I feeling trapped? Where am I feeling not free? That's going to be a huge indication for you to see where you are meant to be going. See where you are. Sorry, I was just talking about the rewitching and all of that. And the two cards, as I split the deck, because I'm about to draw a card to end off. There's the witch over a cauldron, the goddess of fire, right? Taking action. And then the standing stones came up again. It's about taking stock of where we feel we're out of sync with our lives and with ourselves. It's going to call for a lot of authenticity. It's going to call for a lot of introspection. It's going to call for a lot of honesty. And then it's going to call for action. This year is a big doing year, guys. It's a big doing year. And the thing about this year is that I said this to you. Last year was a very masculine energy year. It was a really like go, 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 do, shit happening all the time, shit flying around all the time. This year is a more feminine energy. That's why this is all coming up, right? This whole thing of going back to our nurturing spaces and our healing spaces and our developing and growing spaces, because it is a yin energy, it's a receiving energy. So what that means in terms of the action we need to take is actually quite simple. It's going to be easier for us to do the things that we need to do because we're going to have support in the universal flow of things. All we have to do is what we need to do and then accept that the rest will be taken care of. It's that belief and that faith. And when that happens, we get into the flow of things and we open to receive whatever is meant to come at us and whatever is meant to be, and everything will start flowing for us. It's genuinely that simple. It is genuinely that simple. Okay. I hope that on some level this has made sense, right? Try and debunk some of the myths. If you're uncomfortable fully with witchcraft, debunk some of the myths. Just sit and think about it logically. Think about everything that we've been taught to believe about it. And think about it logically. I'm not saying that there haven't been magic makers. All I'm saying is most people that were healers and oracles and people like me that you follow now, right? People like me that you follow, I would have been burnt at the stake. I would have been hung or I would have been drowned. Simply because of my natural gifts and my soul contracts and my life path. Okay, start debunking this whole process, because when you are not tuning into the authenticity of this and this energy, you're working from a place of ego, and that's going to eliminate any possibility of claiming to be spiritual, or not claiming to be spiritual. That's an unfair comment, but it's going to certainly hinder your spiritual growth and your spiritual evolution. That's a better way of saying it. Apologies for the miscommunication there. That was my fault. Okay, so I've asked Kelso for one card just to clear up the reading for us. One last card, please. So, got to be kidding me. The Three of Air, heartbreak. But look how free they are. What did I say to you about what's limiting your freedom, right? I do want to read the book because this is such a cool deck, but it's all over the place. You've got to be rise up. You've got to be shitting me. You can't make this up. I mean, I just want you to see. Look, Three of Air, rise up. Okay, so here's the card. Bear with me for 2 minutes, right? 3 herons rise up from dark and troubled waters, up through the clouds swirling about them. They are undisturbed by the wild winds on which they soar, their wings more powerful than any turbulence. Their spirits are those of ancient dragons, though their bodies are not covered by scales, but by soft down and fine feathers. Buffeting doesn't impede them or plunge them downward. They have the gift of flight, the ability to rise above strife to the unseen and shining sun. Okay. Essence, rise above, see from a new perspective, free yourself. Did I not say this? You can't make this shit up. Kelso, you're a biscuit. The counsel here, this is the advice. You have the power to rise above whatever difficulties you are confronted with. Begin by shifting your thinking. I don't know why no one listens to Auntie Mara, seriously. View the situation from a distance, okay? So now they're calling for you to be the distant observer, right? See beyond the moment to the bigger picture. Problems shrink when seen from this perspective. Ask yourself, in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, if you'll remember the troubles, what troubles you today. Seeing the future offers you a solution today. Put on the wings of foresight and let them carry you upward. Are you going to hinder your future for what might be said today or might be thought today by someone that's not paying your bills and I don't mean that literally, obviously. I mean also paying your energetic bills, because we have energetic bills to pay. We have soul contracts and life purposes and all sorts of things. Guys, this has been a weird one, and it's been a fabulous one for me. I've really loved doing this energy update. I have to be honest, it's been one of my favorites. I know it's been a bit all over the place, but there we go. Welcome to the world of Kelso's mind. I am sending you so much love. The decisions is absolutely going out, and I was told not to do a new moon reading, but I needed to take that time for myself, and so I did. I took it for myself. But I am going to put out a March update. I know it's a couple of days late. I'm going to try and get that out today before my clients this afternoon. And that's just going to be a general energy for March. It's on my other channel if you haven't got it. I think the link is somewhere down in the description box below as well. Okay, guys. So sending you so much love from Kelso and I. And take some time to really ponder this. Think about it. Think about what freedom will really feel like to you and what it will really mean to you. It's a very powerful space to be. Very powerful space to be. Okay, so much love to you all, and I will catch you on the flip side. And the decisions one is still coming out, I promise. Kelso was that this needs to get out. You can see he even had me writing notes, literally. So there we go. Sending you so much love, and I will see you on the flip side. Big loves, guys.